Hello and welcome to the First Issue Club. We are your weekly comic book podcast. We're just like Sue Storm. We love a good read. Today, we're going to be talking about first issues, as we always do. New comic books that we're excited about reading and have read. Honest. We're not lying about having read these.
We didn't make these up, we promise.
You guys can read?
I mostly gain context clues from all the pictures.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I like comic books so much, honestly.
Yeah.
The secret's out.
I like it when the big strong man punches the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite part.
Ditto. It's at least a contender for me. I might have to think about it a little more. We're also going to be talking about some comic book news. You'll hear that shortly. First, I am Mike D.
I'm Greg.
And I am Vargas.
Okay. Now that we've done our first things first, introed the show, did a great job, made some jokes, said who we were. I think this is the news part.
We are firmly in the news section.
Yeah. Greg, I'm assigning the news section to you.
Thank you, Mike D. Greg Lichtai reporting with the news.
Oh, it's a bit this week.
No bits. I can't do the whole thing. Marvel has recently shown new variant covers that are going to be issued because Spider-Boy has taken over the landscape of comic books,
Okay.
whether it be online or offline.
Can I talk about...
I hope so.
Well, I would like to ask a question and see if anyone has an answer.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Slott was like, now when everybody sees his name, you're
Yeah.
going to freak.
Mm-hmm.
Because we haven't revealed that yet. And then it got revealed in Edge of Spider-Verse 3,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think. And it's like,
Butt sniffer.
it's Bailey Briggs, I think, maybe.
Something like that. Yeah.
Does that give you guys any clues as to who this... I mean, I'm a Spider-Man freak. And I have no clue who that is.
I have read rumors that Spider-Boy is the product of when Dr. Octopus had control over Peter Parker's body.
Oh, shit.
And therein created a child with someone.
Okay.
So Peter Parker unknowingly created
Fathered a child.
while Dr. Octopus was
Smashing and banging.
like
Smanging.
Voltroning his body, so to speak.
Anna Maria, right?
Marconi was her last... Wasn't it something like that?
Yeah. I was going to say, what was her last name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not Briggs.
Not even close.
I think it was Bailey Briggs. I'll have to look it up.
In any
again.
case, that is the hottest rumor that I've been reading.
Yeah.
I think I saw somewhere that the amalgam Superboy Spider-Man
Mhm.
character was named Bailey.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
For some reason I saw that book was like specking, and I think that might
Listen,
be related to
we
it.
can't do that. we can't do that because then that just causes a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Would that be so great?
Let's leave Access and Amalgam back where they were
No,
back
that's
in the 90s.
That's how they bring Amalgam back. Via Spider-Boy.
Listen, if you want to hear my thoughts on Amalgam, go to the Patreon. I have episodes about it there. Patreon.com/firstissueclub.
Perfect. Circling back to the circle back,
Yes.
the variant covers.
So the variants are like a play on the Spider-Boy popping off of like they're dubbed the new champions variants.
Yeah.
Wherein like if the
Everybody gets a sidekick.
like if Hulk had a sidekick or Doctor Strange had a sidekick, and they release these images over at Comic Book Resources, and they're fucking cool.
They're pretty bonkers.
They're so cool, and they're kind of these like what if scenarios. And Marvel played this so smart, and it's just covers.
Yeah.
Like it's a fun and intriguing way to show off creativity of like all these new kind of characters of like what if this happened or what if this happened, and then nothing else. So
Right.
the spec market can't control this. This is just a fun goof about.
You know, a lot of people will still buy these based on spec because let's say we show a new Hulk sidekick,
Mm-hmm.
and then what if someday that does happen in comics? Now I've got an early cover appearance.
The first appearance.
The first appearance.
Yeah, look at Gwenpool.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, right.
She was
started
a
as a
variant.
goof.
Yeah,
So what you're telling me is I need to pre-order 2 of these.
correct.
2 of every variant immediately.
On
And
the
slab
off chance
them
that
all.
one might happen.
Yeah. I mean, every one of them, and this is the first time this has happened in a long time, every cover is pretty striking.
Pretty damn good.
Same
And-
artist doing all of them, or
No, I think it's like a 3 primary ones have been doing most of them.
Uh-huh.
And off the top of my head, I can't really think of who they are. Give me 1 second. But they're all like, let's see here. Romy Jones, Corin Howell, Peach Momoko did one. Let's see here. Betsy Cola, Rain Gonzalez. Just a lot of these up-and-coming Stormbreakers are doing these variant covers.
it's cool to see those artists come up with original character designs too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's Peach Momoko do for an outfit for a new character?
Yeah.
She's doing like a Thor one, I think.
Yeah,
No, Storm.
Yeah.
A Storm
I think
sidekick.
she's done some new character designs.
Well, she did the whole Demon Saga thing.
Yeah, she did those, and then she might have done the character designs for the Gweniverse Gwens.
Mhm.
Oh, interesting.
Holy shit, this list is stacked.
Yeah.
Tony Infante, Mirka Andolfo, Jin Bartel, Javier Garon, like hit after hit after hit, like
All the Stormbreakers.
every one from every year. They called them up. It was a reunion. So go check those out. They're just so fun, and I love the idea of just playing in a random universe that doesn't exist, but it's still kind of fun to speculate and just smash different characters together to see what
Yeah.
happens.
On other variant news, I was flipping through the Marvel previews and saw Predator versus Wolverine that I know we've already talked about.
Ooh,
Peach Momoko is doing one of the variant covers for that.
I'm sure of it.
Just give her a break. You know,
she is tired, folks.
she doesn't need to be doing
Peach-
Wolverine versus Predator.
Peach just needs to turn off her phone, take a mental health day.
She needs to be doing like Cyclops and Jean Grey hold hands. That's the comic she needs to be doing a variant for.
Mhm.
Peach Momoko does do a lot of gory stuff,
She does.
and I think that might actually be her main drive. Is
Oh.
like creepy, spooky stuff,
And they keep telling her to do cutesy
and
shit.
it has continually been like hired to like commission, chibi and adorable covers.
Ooh woo stuff, yeah. Well, her series on Marvel, like it got pretty cryptic in some of the issues of like. I was like watching an episode of the movie The Ring, like it was
Yeah.
just really
Yeah.
kind of bizarre imagery. So
She does this like gnarly eyeball
Yeah.
covers and characters that are just like gooping off.
She's got one coming up for that that one that was a digital only, what is it, the spine tingling Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's got a variant coming for that looks really good. Spider-Man's got eyeballs all over his head.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
Yeah. But-
Um,
Peach needs a break.
she does, and she doesn't need to be going to any more cons. No more cons for Peach Momoko for a while.
Yeah.
Last week, you guys talked about the Captain America Cold War series had just recently wrapped up.
Yeah.
And we just got news this week that a new Thunderbolts series is spilling out from that aftermath.
So dope.
And the team is raising some eyebrows online because our boy Shang-Chi's in there.
Yep.
And he's been notoriously a pretty standard good guy,
Uh-huh.
quote unquote, in the Marvel universe. So everyone's kind of wondering, what's the deal? Maybe he's just like the watcher, like he's the one that has to make sure they all mind their P's and Q's.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like when Luke Cage was the leader of the Thunderbolts. He was
that's
like
true, I guess.
he was like a stand-up dude, and they were like, "You need to make sure these guys don't go off the rails." And I can see them doing that because the rest of that team is like Black Widow and 2 different Agent 13s,
Bucky Barnes,
Yeah,
and then the guy from the Black Widow movie. I forget what his name.
Red Guardian,
Red Guardian's in there, and then the Captain America that's in the black uniform.
US agent.
USA agent. Wow,
Yeah.
really batting 1,000 here with the names.
I can see them like bringing Shang-Chi in to be like, "Hey, punch these guys if they go off the rails."
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, It looks cool. The last Thunderbolt series we got was actually like helmed by Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Like they had a weird New York Thunderbolt specific region, and that book was great.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they want to drum up some interest because of the Thunderbolts movie maybe coming out, maybe not because of the writers and actors strike currently happening.
Yep.
So we may not be getting any new Marvel things for a while.
Yep.
Do you have the cover pulled up for that Thunderbolts?
Yeah.
How many characters are on it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 characters.
That's a big team.
Big
And
team.
there's one that I don't know. Who's the girl sitting there in the middle?
I think that's like Valentina, like the girl that Louise Dreyfus played in Black Widow.
Oh, I thought she was supposed to be playing like Madame Mask or like the Viper or something.
Oh, I don't. Okay, hold on. It is Super Spy Contessa Valentina Allegra
There you go.
de Fontaine. That is who that is on the cover.
Okay, well,
Good sir.
I hope she does little kicks. I guess. Seinfeld joke for all you Seinfeld heads.
Anyway, it's written by Jim Zub, and the art is by Sean Isaacsy. So,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Jim Zub rules. Dope.
do you have any more news, Vargas?
I saw that there is a new line of Stan Lee comic books coming out.
Yeah, so you brought this up before the show. I don't know what. So is it like other properties and characters that Stan Lee has created and didn't get around to publishing?
Yeah, it's like his unfulfilled ideas.
Spooderman.
Uh,
The hunk.
yeah, yeah. It seems like there's just two companies that kind of one of them owns the rights to these guys, and the other one is a comic book company, and they teamed up, and they're like, all right, how can we slap Stan Lee's name on this and print 12 comic books?
And they found a way, it looks like.
And they found a way. I mean, it feels pretty yucky to me because it's not like they're advertising, a creative team or a story or any of that. Most of the stuff that I read was just like Stan Lee's name plus comic book.
Yeah, so these are just relying on Stan Lee's name to get any kind of traction as far as sales.
Yeah, I kind of don't like the idea of doing some of this stuff post-mortem. I know that, like, I think some of Elliott Smith had recorded some, like, B-sides and never released them. And then after his death, there was some, like, fighting to see, like, should we release these songs or not? It's like, he chose to not release those. Maybe for a reason. You know what I mean? And Stan Lee probably thought, these don't cut it for me.
Hey, you know what? Maybe I'll get around to these later. But for right now, they stay in the drawer.
Right, exactly. And now we're surfacing these things that he's got almost nothing to do with at this point. They were just ideas thrown in a hat, and now they're going to have his name splattered all over them.
Well, shit. Pop Smoke's still putting singles out today on the radio. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it feels a little bit icky to me. It's almost the opposite side of the coin. DC put out a couple of months ago that Tales from Earth, whatever it was, 616 or whatever, where it was the what if Stan Lee, honorarium.
Oh,
book,
that's right. Yeah.
where it was like in honor of his 100th birthday or something. Or what would have been his 100th birthday.
But I feel that's maybe a little different because these are ideas. This other company's basically taking half ideas from Stan Lee and then just finishing them for him.
Yeah.
So I don't like that because they may not be following his vision or the idea that he wanted to do. DC just seems like it was paying homage to Stan Lee.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Like DC was trying to honor his imprint on their landscape. This other whatever Stan Lee thing seems like
that's just pure profiteering.
Yeah.
Do we know how they got the rights to them?
It seemed like they just owned the rights.
I don't know.
Like that at least the way I read it, one company had the rights to these characters.
Yeah.
So
and teamed up with a comic book publisher.
Yeah.
Okay.
I bet Stan Lee met with this company and had intended to maybe publish comic books through them. He passes away. They're like, well, we still kind of have ownership of these characters because we have this deal signed with Stan.
Yeah.
So we're just going to go ahead and do this. Now, in legal terms, they can do this.
Right.
It just feels not good
Yeah.
to us readers that want to potentially see these stories.
Yeah. And again, the article I read was not like, oh, hey, Chip Zdarsky is going to be writing.
Yeah.
It just felt like,
Yeah.
They're
Like Steve from accounting
yeah,
is
like,
going to finish off this story.
and I guarantee you these covers are just going to have like Stan Lee's
Yeah.
spotter man,
Yeah. Excelsior Comics.
Yeah. And Stan Lee's name is going to be
Yeah.
a third of the page.
Just atrocious.
So I mean, I hope I'm wrong, I guess. I hope they get Dynamite creative teams and really honor
Teams
Stan's-
working on Dynamite comics.
Yeah.
Perish the thought.
Yeah. I want to see them big titty covers on these Stan Lee books.
Stan Lee's looking good. I actually have to already give a redaction from earlier in the episode.
Oh,
I
okay.
gave Jim Zub was actually the writer for the last Thunderbolt series. Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing are the new writers and artists for the upcoming Thunderbolts
Okay.
series. So calm your fingers, Twitter people. I've already redacted it.
Hell
Too
yeah.
late.
Fuck, we're ruined.
That's even better.
We're canceled. And that's all the news.
All the news that's fit to comics.
How about it? You guys brought stacks of comics with you.
I promised it last week, Mike.
That you had a lot of stuff you were going to read this week.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in a take that you're going to have on a very popular comic that you popularly love, which is Moon Knight, having a big old anniversary issue.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Big ol' thick boy this week for
Yeah.
my man Moon Knight.
Is it square bound?
Yep.
Look at that beautiful
Wow,
rectangle.
You can put that on a bookshelf.
This was a $10 comic, and
Yeah.
I ordered every cover.
Every cover. Because you're a big boy making big boy money.
Because I'm a shill. So, yeah, 25 came out. Normally, this is not issue 25 club. This is first issue club. But I'm going to count it because this is the return of Moon Knight's arch nemesis, the Black Spectre.
Sick.
And I'm jazzed about it.
Is this not also the issue that premieres the Scarlet Scarab
Correct.
in comics?
Well, so this premieres her civilian identity in comics.
Oh, so she hasn't gone full Scarab yet.
Correct.
Okay.
That's going to happen in City of the Dead, the spin-off series.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
You know, what's interesting to me.
Can I return the 100 that I pre-ordered?
It is interesting to me that sometimes first appearance as a hero is more valuable than first appearance of the actual character.
For sure.
Right.
You would think that like the very, very first thing, them as a human being that's like maybe
Mhm.
not superpowered yet, would be the book to have. Not always the case.
Very true. Very, very true.
9 times out of 10, not the case.
You know what? It changes kind of based on
The person?
the character and the era of which these books were written. Like more modern things seem to be like we had that what was that Spider-Man book that was popping off? Is it like the
Eminem one.
the Crystal Spider? Or the one that Taboo wrote.
Yeah, that was
Oh, Neighborhood.
Scary Spider-Man.
The
Yes.
Friendly Neighborhood Nightmare
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Whatever that, like there's a purple Spider Woman that's
Mhm.
introduced in that comic,
Yeah.
and the woman who becomes that character is introduced in the first issue.
Mhm.
No one cares about that first issue.
Nope.
Everyone cares about the issue where this costumed character makes the debut.
Yeah.
But you go back and we talk about Carol Danvers' first appearance in comic books.
Mm-hmm.
That book's worth a lot more than her first appearance as Miss Marvel.
Or even Patsy Walker.
Yeah.
Like the ultimate.
Oh
Ruse.
gosh. Well, yeah, that one's because it's like from the 40s or 30s or something. Yeah, that comic's impossible to find.
So how was it, Andy?
Oh, it was great. it's kind of a split story. So there are sort of two interlocking stories. One where the Black Spectre is sort of heaping villains from the past 24 issues onto Moon Knight to try and take him down.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get a story from 30 years ago where Moon Knight is teaming with a band of mercenaries, including Layla, who will become Scarlet Scarab.
Yeah.
And his mercenary team name is the Karnak Cowboys.
That's pretty sick.
Which is fucking awesome.
So Karnak's been like sneaking in the last 2 or 3 years as far as like importance.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a reference to the Inhuman or the city in Egypt.
Oh, okay.
Because there's
City in Egypt, yeah.
probably.
Look at this dipshit.
But it could be. I mean, it's spelled the same way.
Okay.
So
Who knows?
in fairness. But no, it was a great story. I don't know that it's a great jumping on point for new readers.
No.
But it was an awesome payoff to the last 24 issues that Jed McKay's been writing, and a great bounding on, like
jumping
off to the next, hopefully 25 issues.
Yeah.
In addition, we got a little bonus material from Mensch and Sienkiewicz in the back, one early Moon Knight story from
cool.
like a weird Hulk issue, reprinted in the back. So you can read some old Moon Knight, some new Moon Knight, and get excited for City of the Dead, a little 5-issue mini that's coming out this summer too.
Seeing those pages from that classic Moon Knight comic just really makes me thankful that the formatting of comic books has come leaps and bounds from what it was, folks.
Oh, you don't like that?
God, there's a lot happening and a lot of word bubbles on those pages.
A lot of words, a lot of colors.
Rough.
So is Layla, does she come across as a really cool character in this, or is she just kind of in the background?
No, she's a cool character.
Yeah.
She's Mark's love interest, or previous, whatever. It takes place 20 or 30 years ago, so current love interest in the story. But she's like, pretty strong woman to compete with these like muscly mercenary guys.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if they play her as kind of like a foil to Moon Knight, like more of a straight superhero character, or if she goes the same direction as Moon Knight and is kind of unhinged and, focused on the mission, do whatever it takes to get the job done.
Yeah.
From the TV show, she seemed more calm, cool, collected than Moon Knight.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's the direction they'll go. Or
I'm hoping like she becomes the voice of reason or logic of just like, calm your shit.
You're right.
Moon Knight, this is like what needs to happen.
Yeah, because in the story, she's like frontline with him, shooting dudes and guns blazing, that whole thing. So,
because Moon Knight's biggest downfall is he doesn't have a counterbalance for when he goes just off the rails.
Yeah.
So if he just has someone there to keep him like even keeled, like a yin and yang situation, just like they work so well together because
somebody he'll actually listen to.
Yeah, like then that's really interesting. Of like a new dynamic to this character opens up of just like a steady-headed Moon Knight. Like I don't know if we've seen that in a long time.
Yeah. Well, and Jed McKay's kind of been getting that direction. In the current series, Mark has a relationship with Tigra, whoever, and she is kind of that for him. She is like the person that keeps him, level-headed, but not when it comes to like Moon Knight missions. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like out in the field, as it were, he's still like batshit insane, and then he comes back home to Tigra.
Yeah, and he like, live, laugh, love, and he's fine.
Exactly.
Does Moon Knight or Mr. Knight use guns?
So that's a really cool thing they do in this issue. I'm glad you said that. Black Spectre or somebody, it's either whatever. One of the bad guys he fights in here asks him, "Why do you use moon-shaped, boomerangs? Why not just use a gun?"
Yeah.
and he picks up this big old machine gun, and he's like, it's because I don't like who I am with a gun. And he just like blasts everybody. Like,
Holy hell.
yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
So it's because when Moon Knight has a gun in his hand,
He's too dangerous.
He's
Yeah.
too dangerous. Yeah. Yeah.
Say hello to my little friend.
Exactly. He's like the super Punisher.
Oh, God.
If the Punisher had superpowers,
No.
that's Moon Knight.
No, we can't be doing that. Then we'll be having cops with Moon Knight stickers on their cars.
Yeah, so I really loved issue 25.
Thin blue Moon Knight.
Oh my god.
Once in a blue Moon Knight.
No, we've talked it into existence. Fuck.
Blue moon.
Oh shit. Yeah, I loved the issue. Anybody who's been reading this will find a lot to enjoy here. Again, it's a great payoff to the last 24 issues, and I'm even more excited to read what comes next. So
Sweet.
Tell me one more time the name of the book that's going to get Scarlet Scarab's
City of the Dead.
City of the Dead.
And it's like a one-shot or a new series?
It's a 5-issue mini.
It's a 5-issue mini, okay.
From what I'm reading, first mini Moon Knight's ever had.
First mini Moon Knight.
Wow, how about that?
First appearance of mini Moon Knight.
I need to see if I pre-ordered City of the Dead.
Get on it.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered 3 covers.
We'll buy one from Andy.
Again, I am a shill.
Andy, we both read a book called Fishflies.
Jeff Lemire, baby.
Image Comics, written Jeff Lemire, art Jeff Lemire. Give me your impressions on it.
It is very Jeff Lemire.
And that is usually a good thing.
Oh, I feel like I'm going to hear a Greg hot take. You don't like it.
So it's not that I didn't like it. It's for me, it built up to like kind of nothing. Like
Sure.
it had a lot of weird build up to it, and like the creepy overtone and imagery of the book hit super hard.
Uh-huh.
It was great. Like it hit all the points to it, and like I don't. Obviously, they're not supposed to give everything away in the first issue, and you don't know why. What happens at the end of the book happens.
Right.
That's why you want to read the rest of the books. But to me, it just seemed all like kind of okay. Like,
Yeah.
And like if this was any other creator, if this was anyone but Jeff Lemire, I would be like, no, we're done. Like I don't really care because the setup wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be.
Yeah. I totally understand where you're coming from.
Also squarebound, by the way.
Yeah, also Square.
Yeah, it's huge.
This is a $6 book.
Does this reprint the stuff that was in the free comic book day?
Did you read? So yes, but
It
did you read the back material?
The 2-page.
Yeah.
No. You know why? No pictures.
So this, I guess, was a Substack series that he did.
Mm-hmm.
He has gone back and made changes to that Substack series.
Oh, okay.
So this is, as he said, the final product
Yeah.
that this series is.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the free comic book day version.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
Just a girl and her fish fly.
I liked this book a lot, and I think I might be giving it more credit because I know that Jeff Lemire can pay off some of these like questions that I have.
Mm-hmm.
I trust him enough as a creator.
Yeah.
To your point, if I didn't know that Jeff Lemire wrote this,
Would you be jazzed about it?
would I be as jazzed about it? Probably not. Especially a $6 book, I probably wouldn't be picking up issue 2.
And for me, that's what's been happening primarily the first half of 2023. We have some of these great creators that have been like established throughout the years throw out these books that are just like kind of mid,
Yeah.
but we've known that their track record has been so stellar. We're just like, okay, well, I guess we'll stick with it because I know it's going to pay off eventually. But I mean, it's just been really kind of lackluster with some of the stuff.
So, yeah. So do creators need to learn how to have like a super bombastic opening again?
I think it's just
Make comics action again?
no. It's just like they're banking on the audience relying on the trust of like the creator.
Yeah.
Good, they've earned it.
But like fucking nothing happens in this first issue that couldn't happen in 4 pages. I don't need a square-bound book to do what it did.
Jeff Lemire is a mood, a vibe, a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
Yes.
sometimes you spread that out across a book of artwork.
Right. But if you spread it too thin, your peanut butter sandwich is kind of shitty.
All right, that's for you to say.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yum. And if you enjoyed the book, that's great. I just expected a little more from Jeff Lemire in this premiere square-bound issue.
I'm intrigued by the idea of Jeff Lemire doing a rural set crime noir,
Mhm.
which is basically what this is. It's just got the weird supernatural twist at the end.
Sure.
There are just a lot of questions that I know that Jeff Lemire will pay off, and I'm looking forward to that.
Here's one last thing.
And okay, go ahead.
Just real quick. This book did not do in a square-bound format. I don't know how many pages. What Phantom Road did in less than 32.
Oh, sure.
Like Phantom Road smacked you in the face with a hammer, and I was hooked from the beginning.
Yeah.
This book took way longer to do way less, in my mind,
Sure.
and I don't know why.
That being said, for every Jeff Lemire book that smacks you in the face,
Mhm.
there's a Jeff Lemire book that is very slow rolling.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
I think a lot of his passion projects that he does the artwork for,
Mm-hmm.
like May's book, or what was that really large format one?
Grass Kings or
Wasn't,
Essex County?
No, he had like
Underwater Welder.
a big 3-part.
Oh, like Life or Death or something? Or
Yeah, something.
He did with Scott Snyder. You talking
Yes,
AD?
AD.
Yeah,
There it is.
After
Like,
Death.
Yep.
That one was really
That was
slow
awesome.
paced.
But super good.
Yeah.
That
get-
had like prose sections in it too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just mad because this probably would be dynamite in trade form.
Oh, yeah.
And like just to get a slow drip of a slow burn,
Yeah.
to me is just like, hurry the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like now I gotta wait, what, 2-3 more weeks to get the next issue of this story?
Yeah. What intrigued me was like it gave me the same vibes as Revival.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where there's like a small town mystery.
Yeah.
But again, to your point, there wasn't that hook at the end where it's like, oh shit, are these people zombies?
Yeah.
Like that was the hook to the end of issue 1 of Revival.
And you know what? Here's the kind of the thing with webcomics, or something that's initially written
Yeah.
as a Substack thing,
Mm-hmm.
is that you don't think of those as hitting you with a punch at some point that like lands directly at the
Right.
end of an issue. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the fact that it's been adapted into a printed format
Mhm.
from something that formerly really like had no set chapters.
Because you read it differently. You scroll
Yes.
and it goes up and down.
Right.
Books are left and right. Like it just hits differently.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, your points are all absolutely valid, Greg. I'm not trying to
Thank you.
I'm not trying to say you're wrong.
Is this a bad book? No, it's not a bad book.
Yeah.
Is Jeff Lemire bad artist writer? Absolutely not. I just, for what the size of this book was and for what Jeff Lemire can produce, I expected something different.
Sure. Totally valid.
Thank you. That's all I wanted.
You've been validated.
What else do you read?
I read the What If Dark Loki series.
Hell yeah, that's on my to read pile. Is it any good?
It's by Walter Simonson and
Oh.
art is done by Scott Eaton and Cam Smith and Scott Hanna. Oof.
A lot of times when older, like classic writers write a new
Yeah.
comic book, it doesn't stand up against the way newer writers write.
This is old school.
Yeah.
This,
yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind. This is old school. This is Loki has concocted through nefarious ways the ability to pick up Mjolnir and to become worthy to pick up Mjolnir. And then he goes on his typical Loki hijinks with it, and then unbeknownst to him, causes Ragnarok
Sure.
And the end of the book, you have to read it. It's basically starts. The book ends where Genesis in the Bible begins.
Oh, okay.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
So go in it with that. It was like, to Mike D's point, old school writers have a way in a rhythm about them when they write.
Yeah.
And it takes a minute for me, a modern reader, to catch up to that. Walter Simonson, fucking legend
Yeah.
in the industry, completely worthy to write a Thor story or in a Loki story. Just kind of tread lightly into this What If series, get into the mindset of, older, old head comics.
Yeah, imagine this book was written 40 years ago.
Yeah. Imagine you found this in an attic. You have a great. Even the artwork has a tinge of vintage feel to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
it was fine. It was good.
Fine out of 100.
Fine out of 100. Fine. I also read Antarctica,
Great book.
Image Comics through the Top Cow publishing thing.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah.
It was by Simon Birks and Willi Roberts. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I really haven't been a big fan of Top Cow comics recently.
Same.
Because they get kind of a weird machismo vibe to them. Completely not what this fucking book is.
Yeah. This is not what I was expecting when I read a Top
This
Cow.
rips.
Yeah.
This is like young girl loses her father, who's like an explorer / scientist. He doesn't come home one day when she's young. She grows up jaded and kind of pissed off, and basically,
The pink jumpsuit on the cover is really cool.
yeah, and like she basically learns to be an engineer in a matter of like a year to find where her dad is in Antarctica. And when she gets there, shit is not okay.
Yeah.
In like the base camp, there's this weird John Carpenter feel to the whole thing as soon as you get there, and then the twist ending. Oh, I was hooked. It was so cool.
Yeah.
I won't give away the twist ending because I think it just enhances the book. But this was the shocker of the week for me. Antarctica, out on Top Cow.
Yeah.
The vibe of it is really, really good. The characters are all fleshed out. There's nothing.
Man.
There's nothing off about this book to me.
Breezy read too.
No.
It looks.
It's heavy.
Is it heavy?
Well,
I was gonna
dude,
say
Not a ton of words.
It looks quick to get through. Is what I meant by breezy.
yes. Yeah, yeah.
It is a dense, emotional ride.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
But a quick read.
Yeah.
This girl like loses her dad in the first like 4 pages,
Mm-hmm.
and it only goes downhill from there.
Yeah, yeah. Then she gets a helping hand from a good friend, and then like she puts off becoming a love interest with this person, I think, or like really connecting with this person.
there's like a semi spark that's starting.
Yeah.
But she's really reserved,
Mhm.
and he helps her go to school,
Yep.
and then he has an aneurysm.
And he has a fucking brain aneurysm. So there's that loose tie is sealed up.
yeah,
And then she just says onward to Antarctica.
yeah, it was a great book.
It was really, and like it's a sci-fi. I'm hoping kind of big scary monster Lovecraftian
Yeah.
feel. Like I'm very, very intrigued by where this book goes.
Yeah, I am too.
This may be the sleeper hit of 2023 as far as like
If
no
they
one
can,
talks about it,
yeah,
but it's really, really good.
if they can pull out an ending.
The ending,
Because I'm assuming that this is like a 5-issue limited. I name a Top Cow ongoing. You know what I mean?
6.
So there you go. If they can make the rest of these 6 issues, 5 issues.
Yeah,
As,
6 is the sweet spot for a mini.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything less than that, and you're cutting yourself too thin.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm jazzed about this. This is great.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you liked it because I was fucking shocked.
The covers are awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool covers.
Yeah.
So that would be my suggestion for the week.
Totally.
Antarctica for sure.
Totally.
Go find that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. If you're a comic book reader, you'll find something in here
Totally.
that you can latch onto.
This is a comic book fan's comic book.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I'll say this for all you spec heads out there, this is ripe for an adaptation.
Dude, first appearance of Antarctica in comic book form. Oh, this could be a TNT show tomorrow.
That's right. Like, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like,
whenever the writers and actors strikes over,
yeah.
first thing on the plate.
Yeah,
Antarctica.
for sure.
The second biggest shock of the week for me, I read TMNT versus Stranger Things. You guys had mentioned in last week's episode that these two properties were almost made for one another.
Yeah.
Just drenched in nostalgia, essentially, in 80s nostalgia.
Yeah.
This book from IDW / Dark Horse / Nickelodeon / Netflix
Jesus Christ.
is from Cameron Chiddock and Farrell P. I swear to God, it is better than it needs to be. There was more thought. This could have been just an absolute turd.
Yeah.
But the creative team on this was just like, hey, what if we actually told a story with this? And it is basically the kids from Hawkins are visiting New York,
Uh-huh.
and then they come across a Gorgon or Demogorgon,
Uh-huh.
but it looks a little different. It has been merged with a mouser.
What?
And it turns out they run headfirst in the TMNT team.
Uh-huh.
And it's like vintage TMNT team. They're all wearing red bandanas.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
So it's like the tough and rowdy
yeah,
Peter Laird TMNT team.
that's pretty dope.
So I really loved that.
Yeah.
And then we find out that what's his name? Something Stockton.
Oh, Baxter Stockton.
Baxter Stockton.
Yep.
Is combining the Demogorgons and the Mousers, and he's working with Eleven's like Papa or whatever.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, and that's where it ends. There's like two teams that split off, and 11 is confronted with these Demogorgon Mousers and Baxter Stockton, and he says, your Papa has told me so much about you.
Yeah.
Hard end, and it's just like, why is this book so goddamn good? Damn it! I had every reason to ignore this book.
Oh boy.
So if you were on the fence about it, get off the fence.
Okay.
It's kind of fun.
That's awesome. I love hearing it.
And
Did
it's
you order
like,
this one, Mike?
No, I didn't, but
and it's like, I think they're just gonna go for it. Of just
Yeah.
like, shit's just gonna pop off, and it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
And continuity out the window. Who gives a shit?
That's good. Yeah.
Let's just have fun. And it is almost too perfect, the merging of these two properties.
Yeah.
Because when the teams meet up, when the kids and the turtles meet up, one of the kids is just like, you know what? We've been through so much. These four turtles are doing nothing
They don't
for
even
me.
phase
Of
them.
just like, okay, fine. Let's go.
That's great.
And so, I think honestly, I will be honest. I shit talked this to the ends of the earth
Sure.
when I saw this announced, because I was like, how stupid could this be?
Yeah.
Why are we milking these properties for all the money in the world? I read issue 1. I was like, God damn it!
And they
I'm gonna
heard
have
you.
to eat fucking crow.
Yeah. They heard you and they were
Yeah.
like, we'll show this guy.
And it is, folks. It's worth it. It
That's
is
awesome.
worth your time and money. I can't believe I'm saying it either. And even some of the variant covers are cool.
Of course they are.
oh
Like,
yeah, definitely. That's a given.
This is a cash cow for
Yeah.
variant covers. But that's all I read of the weekend. Like, honestly, I was shocked about how good some of these books were.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that at all.
Awesome. Love to hear it.
Thank you. Did you read anything else?
Did I read anything else?
Did I read anything else, folks?
So I picked up The Hunger and the Dusk.
I heard this book fucking is awesome.
Yeah, so it's G. Willow Wilson
Hell yeah.
doing a fantasy series, like straight up D&D campaign.
Love it.
It's about
That
this
cover rules.
Yeah, had to get this one. I'm a sucker for any comic book cover that kind of looks like a movie cover.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked up.
This is exactly what that is.
What's the artist is on the back there?
Cliff Shang.
Cliff Chang, thank you. So this book is about a kid and his brother or friend,
Mhm.
something. They're village is wiped out by not orcs, some unseen foe that we find out later. So he's orphaned, grows up as like a traveling mercenary, forms a D&D group.
Yeah, this art is so good.
It's so good. And our story picks up where humans and orcs have made a pact, and
never good.
the kids, the band of mercenaries are taking on this like orc chieftain's daughter as part of their mercenary band to like brew goodwill between orcs and men. And just as they team up, that unseen force, the Vanguls, attack.
That's what they're called?
That's what they're called.
Sweet.
So this is like a straight up swords and sorcery, magic, and all that stuff. And it's G. Willow Wilson. So you know it's going to be good.
Yeah, can't go wrong there.
Greg said the art's amazing. If you're like a fantasy RPG person at all, this hits all
of it.
all the spots.
Yeah, kind of like, is it sort of like medieval styled?
It looked like it, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. It's not as like dark and gritty as something like Die.
Yeah.
But it has that same kind of, vibe and feel to it, I guess. Great book. Totally great. The last book that I read before we wrap it up, I read Bryn Mawr.
A lot of
Is that-
IDW this week.
Is that how you would say that? Bryn Mawr?
Yeah.
Brynmore.
The cover looks like, what's that cartoon show about the heavy metal band? That
Oh, Metalocalypse.
It looks like a Metalocalypse album cover.
I'll give you that one. I picked this one up because it's Steve Niles, who did 30 Days of Night.
Yep.
This is about a guy who returns to his childhood home, and everybody hates him. Great classic start to his story. He is renovating an old church because he's homeless.
Because that's what you do when you're homeless.
That's what you do. He's renovating this old church, and the kicker at the end of the book, he goes into the basement and he discovers this coffin.
Oh, God.
And that's how the book ends. And based on the preview of issue 2 and the cover of issue 1, there is probably some sort of ghosty or ghoulie or vampire in that coffin.
Nice.
And I am jazzed about it.
We just got an email today from Dark Horse, actually, about a new graphic novel that Steve Niles is doing, and it's being described as Jurassic Park meets Arachnophobia.
Hello.
And the book is called Satan's Swarm.
Okay.
So I'm going to go pre-order that immediately.
I love Steve Niles.
Steve Niles
Yeah.
fucking throwing it down.
He rules.
I'm bummed that October Faction didn't get a second season.
Yeah.
Because I loved the comic book, and I loved the first season. It was on Netflix, I want to say.
Yep.
It's hard for stuff to get picked up for another season on Netflix. They want it to just be like a cultural phenomenon within the first 2 weeks it's released, or
Correct.
or nothing.
That's streaming for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of good stuff this week. Bryn Mawr, Hunger and Dusk, Antarctica, Fishflies, I guess maybe
TMNT
TMNT.
for Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Too many good things, actually.
Yeah, a lot. And I didn't even talk about, I read Captain America 750, which is another great launching off point to
Oh, yeah.
J. Michael Straczynski coming back to Marvel. We'll talk about that on the Patreon.
Yeah, we will. I have thoughts and takes.
As much as you loved Cold War, was it kind of nice to be like, it's done, let's start something new?
Yeah, the 750 was a great wrap-up issue.
Oh, okay. It was more of a we're saying goodbye to that era.
Yeah.
Same writer who's been writing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's still Sentinel of Liberty is taking the issue's called Captain America Finale, and then Symbol of Truth had an issue 14 that take place after Cold War.
Okay.
So they both get individual wrap-up issues, but 750 was great. You got the backstory behind Sam Wilson's shield.
Oh, cool.
You got Sharon Carter debuting as the Destroyer officially.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of cool stuff. It was a great issue.
Love to hear it. Join us over on the Patreon for us to continue this conversation.
We have games, we have comics to show, and we have thoughts about the new Captain America, apparently.
See you there. First Issue Club is edited and produced by Mike DeStacy, Greg Lichtag, and Andy Vargas. Follow us on social media at First Issue Club, and check out our Patreon for videos, audio, and more at patreon.com/firstissueclub.